Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Fed Up, your no BS nutrition podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Marie, certified personal trainer and nutrition specialist, working with clients since 2014. After swimming up diet culture's bullshit stream for so many years, I am fed the absolute up with how miserable it's making people feel when we are supposed to be getting healthier. This podcast is here to help you gain your sanity back so you can stop yo-yoing once and for all and finally learn how to trust yourself so you can enjoy food again without fear or shame while still getting to your health goals. My aim is to teach you how to detect the BS in not just the food and diet industries, but in all realms of life, because I know that, like me, we are all just a little fed up. So without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and thank you so much for tuning back in. I appreciate you being here even after a few weeks off. Sometimes life gets crazy, you know what I'm saying? And this podcast is really just an extra thing that I am doing to provide free education and support and a place to put my rantings to the public, to my clients. But my real work is mostly behind the scenes, actually working one-to-one with clients in person and online. I do offer small groups as well. But if you didn't know that, there you go. This is definitely not my main Joe Rogan gig. So thank you for bearing with me. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I have also been really freaking busy with my baking business. So school ended and I have been practicing and just kind of working on my recipes and decorating cakes and just having a really good time with a very old passion of mine. And I've actually been doing a full-on business. So it's really fun, but it is also incredibly entertaining when I tell people that I am a personal trainer of about a decade, and I am also selling cakes and cupcakes, or I'm bringing cupcakes into the gym for other trainers. And truth be told, it is a little frustrating that I have been posting fitness content on Instagram for a frickin' decade, since Instagram became Instagram in 2013. You know what I'm saying? And I post for a month on my baking channel and I go viral. I had 4+ million views on this video and I have almost 11,000 followers on that account. And I'm like, what? Is this a sign from the universe? No, I will always be a health coach, a personal trainer, a nutritionist. I will never lose that part of me because I think that is just, it's life or death for me. All right. For people, me coaching them is way beyond just oh, I just want to look good in a bikini, no, that will always be my heart and my soul. However, when I also say that it's been kind of a nice break to not always be talking about dieting or getting your fiber or eating your vegetables or which diet you should try or detoxes or all the things that I talk about with clients trying to get healthier and lose weight and doing all the things that health coaching does. When I just come in with cupcakes, everyone is so happy and no one talks about dieting. And I mean, granted, I do count and make mental note of the people who do say, oh, I can't, I'm, watching my calories or whatever it may be. I call it the diet talk. So even when I just did my first market in my desserts and sold almost everything that I planned to sell. And again, it was really fun to just see everybody walk up, get a smile on their face. My friends came and bought cupcakes and it was so exciting. But getting your friends to show up to a workout class, yeah, I'm looking at you. It is so much easier to get business with clients who want cake versus clients who want to hire me as a trainer. They have to be ready in a very different way, all right? Which is awesome. And again, I love this work. I will never be not a health coach, and I'm still getting my degree in dietetics, which again is hilarious when I'm talking about cupcakes and then someone's like, oh, cool, so you're going to school. What are you studying? And I'm like, nutrition. I get the irony, trust me. But I promise, as long as I exist, I will have multiple passions. And I've been baking for as long as I can frickin' remember. I lived with my grandparents for different points of my life for different periods of time. And I remember being 4, maybe, like one of my earliest memories living with my grandparents and baking cookies with my grandma and standing on the chair. And I remember like learning how to do it myself at my house and my brother and my dad stealing all the cookie dough. And I remember, buying all the boxed cake mix that I could manage because, of course, I'm a teenager. I don't know how to make cakes at this point. And baking cakes for what we call birthday season. My older brother is born in December. My little brother is born in January. I'm a February, and both my parents are in March. So from December to March, it's birthday season. And it's so funny because as we have like gotten married and have kids and things like that, like my niece is also in January. My boyfriend and my sister-in-law are both in May. And then we have my other niece in June. And then my third niece is also in February with me. So again, we have birthday season in my family. And I never baked from scratch cakes until recently, until last year. I started formulating those. But this has been a long-term passion of mine. It always has been. I have one time carried a carrot cake on a plane and then, to a friend because I baked it and then I had to get it to them. And it did not look anything professional. It was like a slop of a mess, but it tasted damn good. And anyway, as much as people love to make this joke, I am not baking cakes to stay in business. Okay, I am not baking cakes to get people fat in order to then work them out and get them healthy. And I know people say it and they're being a little facetious, but I know it crosses your mind, and that's really not at all anything to do with this. I've always enjoyed baking and cooking separate from my health coaching. And honestly, it works within all of my philosophies. When I teach about you should bake from scratch, cook from scratch, learn how to cook at home for yourself, for your family, for your children, or for friends, for your parents, whoever the hell it is, I believe that it is an important skill and it is an important labor of love. And there is so much that goes into a home-cooked meal. It's not because store-bought meals are evil and making America fat and poisonous. And there's nothing wrong with like buying a Stouffer's. Chauffeurs? Is it Stouffer's? I think it's Stouffer's. Buying a lasagna. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up on Costco lasagna. No problem, right? Now I know how to make lasagna from scratch. I enjoy making it from scratch. But honestly, a girl will crush a lasagna from the frozen aisle at any grocery store. All right? So that being said, I think when I'm teaching people about nutrition, I'm oftentimes teaching them to have a little bit of permission, because when you overly restrict, you binge. So when you don't allow yourself to have cake, you eat the entire frickin' cake. Or you don't have cake for a long time that the next time you do, you have zero control over it. Or the next time someone does bring in cupcakes, because guess what? I'm coming to a town near you. No, just kidding. If you are in the Gallatin Valley area, though, I do tend to just bring cupcakes or cakes places because I'm practicing recipes. I have leftovers, whatever it may be. And if you are somebody sitting in that office when someone comes in with cupcakes and you like cannot handle yourself, is it a sugar problem or is it a you problem? I'm just saying. So as much as it seems like they are in opposite fields, in a way, I talk a lot about allowing yourself to have the sugar because it's not evil. If you've listened to any freaking episode of this podcast, you probably have gotten that a little bit. That restriction leads to binging. So again, a lot of people joke like, oh my God, how do you stay in shape with all that cake around? Because I'm not eating it. Because guess what? I can make cake at any point. When you have cakes all week long and you're testing cake and you're trying cake, you get a little sick of cake. And I have a sweet tooth, okay? I love cake and chocolate and anything with sugar in it. It is for me, okay? But I'm not eating all of my cupcakes and my cakes, right? First of all, they're for orders and for customers. And second of all, I get kind of sick of cakes. I have to go like give them away to people because one, I also want to get their feedback and I love seeing the joy on people's face when I bring cake in. But also, I am sick of eating it. So I need someone else to eat it. So anyway, moving along here, it does fit into my philosophy of all foods fit. There are no good or bad foods. And hear me out here. I'm not saying cupcakes are a nutrient-dense food. I am not saying that they are enough for a lunch or a meal or even a snack, but like you can have a cupcake. You can have 2 cupcakes. Like it's not the death of ya, I promise. The problem is when you don't allow yourself to have the cupcake and then now every single time you walk past the table, you're having a cupcake. So now you've had 6 or 7. Or again, maybe you've only had 2 or 1, but you feel so fucking bad about it that stress and again, how you're going to now sabotage or binge later is probably way worse than just having the cake. So I just want to tell you a story here. When I first started my market research, asking people like, what's your favorite cake? What's your favorite cookie? What's your favorite dessert? Whatever it was, right? I didn't know that I was going to be baking cakes because I had never baked cakes from scratch besides maybe carrot cake, I guess. But I had never really baked cakes from scratch, okay? I was a boxed mix kind of gal. You add eggs and oil, right? So when people started saying like chocolate cake, red velvet cake, some people are not cake people, right? But a lot of people said red velvet cake. And I was like, okay. And I know that I can sell cakes from home in the Montana Food Law, Food Freedom Act, SB 199. So Montana is a food freedom state. As long as I'm not selling meat, you can pretty much sell anything face-to-face from your home. So I knew that I could make cakes. And then I've been an artist for as long as I could hold a pencil, right? And decorating cakes is art and it's so much fun, but it's edible art and it goes away. So I don't have to worry about like being a perfectionist because it's going to go in a frame on my wall forever. Painting and art in general, I love it, but it has always really kind of stressed me out more than like given me a stress relief or a joy. And granted, baking is also a huge stressor sometimes. The amount of meltdowns I have had. Okay, it's worth it though. It's worth it. But it is like edible art and it's so much fun to also combine my love of cooking, especially now I've learned a lot more working in a restaurant. My boyfriend is a chef or was a chef. And so there was a lot of like experimentation that went into it that, yes, it's frustrating, but holy hell, when it comes out perfect, oh, that's the best. And I pride myself on turning non-cake people into cake people. When people are like, oh yeah, I don't really like cake. I like pie. Or I'm not a cake person. It's because y'all have had dry cake that has like Crisco with added sugar as a frosting and it sucks, okay? My cakes are delectable. Anywho, there's so much misinformation out there that I get it when it's easy to make that joke, right? Oh, you're a personal trainer selling cakes. Ha ha ha. I get it. But in a way, like this also just shows how fucked up our mindsets are around these foods because like you can't even associate someone healthy with like also baking or also enjoying to bake and enjoying to bake full fat, full sugar. Like I'm not healthifying these cakes, okay? I'm not using reduced sugar or anything like that. Granted, my Swiss meringue buttercream does use less sugar than standardized American buttercream that you might get at the grocery store, but that's not intentional for like less sugar. That's just the way you make Swiss meringue buttercream. So I also know in my head, sugar does not cause diabetes. Cakes are not necessarily what is causing people to be overweight or unhealthy or cause heart disease. Like that is not the problem. The problem is you don't know how to handle yourself around these types of foods. And obviously, again, cake is not a nutrient-dense food, but it's good for your soul. It is celebratory. That's why we have cake, right? It's part of our culture, whether you decide to partake in it or not. And in some cultures, you'll see 2 people slowly enjoy one slice of cake between the 2 of them over the course of hours. Sipping afternoon tea, chatting away, having a bite of cake, here and there. In America, we gorge it in our cars on the way home so you don't have to share it with your kids. Like, And don't tell me that you don't do that or something similar, because even myself, I tend to, if I get like fast food or I get a donut or something, yeah, I tend to hide the wrapper because I don't want people to see. And people always judge. Like, I've thought so many times to put like a Kayla Marie health coaching or Kayla Marie personal training decal on my car. And then I think, I go through the fast food drive-through at least once a week and someone's going to judge me. So I get it. Trust me, I preach so much about food neutrality and I have to fight it within myself. Even when I'm at work and I order like fried chicken sandwich, the tater tots, because you got to live a little and it's delicious, people joke at me all the time. They're like, oh, that's healthy. Oh, personal trainer, huh? Oh, no wonder you work out so much. I'm like, oh my God, leave me alone. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to enjoy some chicken. Anyway, in America, we feel a lot of shame, a lot of guilt over these types of foods, over carbs, over sugar. And honestly, it's, propaganda, diet culture. But I think that we have to reframe. Is it the sugar? Is it the ingredients? Is it the cake? Is it the gluten? Is it the carbohydrates? Or is it truly how you're dealing with it when it's in front of you? And that sounds like a personal problem. Which I'm glad you're listening to this podcast because, again, scroll back through. You'll find lots of episodes where I talked about this. This is the main problem. It is not the singular ingredient or the singular cupcake. It is how you are handling it and then either feeling terrible about it or eating a whole bunch until you feel terrible about it. So we have figured out how to make really good tasting food taste even better. Again, I can turn a non-cake person into a cake person. So what? You've got to learn to deal with it. All right? It's not going to go anywhere. We're not just going to like ban food dyes, RFK, and like switch everything to beef tallow and then now everyone's skinny. Like, that is not how that works. Okay? Anyway, I am the baking nutritionist and I have zero shame about it. So if you want some personal training, some health coaching, who you can still enjoy your favorite foods and we will still lose some weight or aim towards that, right? And if you want a dozen cupcakes, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I got your back. So, all right, I just had to make this podcast because it's been happening too much. So, the baking nutritionist signing off. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much for being here, friends. If you enjoyed this episode, please screenshot and tag me over on Instagram or leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening from. Your support means the world to me and only helps me get the no BS news out to more people. If you're interested in working with me in nutrition or personal training, check out my programs and courses on my website at kaylamariefitness.com and on Instagram at KaylaMarie_fit. See you next week.